I do 9 hours of dialysis 7 days a week to maintain my health. Without that, I wouldn't survive.
Derek Williams describing his declining health, surrounded by retired Mount Vernon police officers supporting their brother in blue. Williams is a 19-year veteran, a former member of the Elite Emergency Service Unit. In 2020, he contracted COVID after months of working double shifts.
Derek's character caused him to come in and work and support this city and the residents of this city during the worst pandemic that we've had.
Sometimes you read something and it just hits different. Imagine working nearly 20 years, putting your life on the line, serving your city, doing everything by the book, and then when your health fails you, the same system you gave your life to just throws you away. That's exactly what's happening to Officer Derek Williams, a black cop from Mount Vernon, New York. He's been on the force for 19 years. He caught COVID on the job. He's now on dialysis 9 hours a day, fighting for his life. And instead of showing him compassion, the city is terminating him 6 months before he can retire and get his pension. And here's the part that hurts the most. When they terminate him, he loses his health insurance. No health insurance, no dialysis. And without dialysis, he won't survive. So when we talk about the system, this is what we mean. It's not just about police brutality or bad laws. Sometimes it's about how the system just flat out lacks humanity when it comes to our people, even when we're in the system. I want y'all to check out what Officer Williams had to say and how he begged for his job, and really ask yourself, how does this make sense? How do we let this happen?
Tonight we have a story that will puzzle some and spark fury in others.
Yeah, especially during a time of being kind and thinking about others. A 19-year police veteran in Mount Vernon has kidney failure, and he is on dialysis.
Now, if you know anyone who has had this, you know what it means. But in his case, and this case, his doctors say he can work on light duty.
But here's the rub. The Mount Vernon Police Department says he can't work, and he's now being terminated December 31st, and that means no health insurance.
Happy holidays. Not. Here's Marcus Solis.
I do 9 hours of dialysis 7 days a week to maintain my health. Without that, I wouldn't survive.
Derek Williams describing his declining health, surrounded by retired Mount Vernon police officers supporting their brother in blue. Williams is a 19-year veteran, a former member of the Elite Emergency Service Unit. In 2020, he contracted COVID after months of working double shifts.
Derek's character caused him to come in and work and support this city and the residents of this city during the worst pandemic that we've had.
The department has classified Williams' kidney failure as a non-job related illness and stopped paying him when he became too sick to work. Doctors have cleared the 45-year-old for desk duty, and he's just 6 months shy of qualifying for a reduced pension. That request has been denied.
I begged for my job back. I begged to come in whatever hours that I can capable of doing. And I was told there's no light duty for me.
Earlier this month, Williams received a termination letter effective December 31st, which would not only end his career, it would cut off his health insurance.
I just feel like they have no empathy, they have no compassion.
To be just thrown like in the garbage, like it's over, it's ridiculous.
To be blunt, if you're terminating his employment, you're terminating his life in so many words.
Mount Vernon says it cannot comment on personnel matters. Williams has an application pending for a state disability pension and is on a kidney transplant waiting list. In Mount Vernon, Marcus Solis, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Now, after watching that, if your heart ain't moved, I don't know what to tell you. This is the part that really got me. You see Officer Derek Williams surrounded by a group of retired officers standing by his side. They're showing up for him, and honestly, I respect that. But let's keep it real. Those same retired officers, they're most likely at home right now getting their pension checks in the mail every single month. Comfortable, covered, safe. And all Williams is asking for is that same basic respect. He's not asking for charity. He's not asking for a handout. All he's asking for is what he earned, the right to retire with dignity. The man gave 19 years to this department. Let's talk about that. That's 19 years of showing up to work. 19 years of putting on that uniform, 19 years of seeing things that most people could never imagine. He was even part of the Elite Emergency Service Unit. That's no desk job. That's the kind of work where you're running into dangerous situations, not away from them. And even when COVID hit back in 2020, a time when many people were staying home, scared, unsure, Derek Williams was out there, working double shifts, serving a community in crisis, putting his health and life on the line when the world was still figuring out what this virus even was. And what did he get for that? Kidney failure. But even then, he didn't give up. He didn't roll over. He's not asking to be treated like a hero. He just wants to finish what he started. The man is 6 months away from qualifying for a reduced pension. 6 months. And what does the department do? Not only do they deny him light duty, which, by the way, his doctor approved, but they send him a termination letter letting him know that as of December 31st, he's out. Now let's stop right here and talk about light duty, because this part right here exposes just how cold and two-faced the system can be. We've seen it time and time again. When officers are under investigation, and I'm talking serious stuff, excessive force, misconduct, some even facing charges for the most heinous crimes, what happens? They get put on paid leave, they get desk duty, they get time to ride out the storm while collecting a check. But Derek Williams, a man with no record of wrongdoing, who worked through a pandemic, who's dealing with a life-threatening illness, gets told, there's no light duty for you. Come on now, that doesn't sit right. That doesn't sound like policy. That sounds personal. And we all know what happens if they pull his health benefits. If he gets terminated and that insurance stops, he dies. It's that simple. Dialysis is not optional. You can't pause it. You can't delay it. The man does 9 hours of dialysis a day, 7 days a week, just to stay alive. So when people say, if you terminate his job, you're terminating his life, that's not being dramatic. That's being real. This situation highlights something deeper than just one man's story. It exposes how easily Black lives, even the ones in uniform, are thrown away once we're no longer useful to the system. How can you give nearly 2 decades of service, and when you get sick, they act like you never existed? And again, I want to emphasize this. He begged for his job. He didn't lash out. He didn't sue right away. He didn't run to the media. He begged. He went through the proper channels. He asked for any hours they could give him. He just wanted to show up, do what he could, and finish strong. Instead, they showed him the door. And it makes you think, if this can happen to someone who served the department loyally, how do you think everyday folks are treated when they get sick or injured on the job? This isn't just about a Black officer. This is about how we treat people who give their lives to a system that doesn't give life back. So now the question becomes, why not let him finish his last 6 months on light duty? Why not show compassion to a man who showed up even when it could have cost him his life? Why not recognize that this isn't just about paperwork or policy? This is about a man's survival. We've got to start holding systems accountable for how they treat people when the spotlight is off. This ain't trending on national news. You won't see marches in the streets for this. But that doesn't mean it's not important. Officer Derek Williams did everything right. He stayed committed, he did the hard work, and when his body couldn't take it anymore, all he asked for was a chance to finish strong. That's the bare minimum. That's humanity. So if this story moved you, like it moved me, do something about it. Share this video, talk about it. Ask the city of Mount Vernon, why are you turning your back on a man who gave you everything? And most importantly, let's make sure we never stay silent when we see wrong being done, especially when a man's life hangs in the balance. Because at the end of the day, if we don't speak up for Officer Williams now, who's going to speak up for us when it's our turn? Much love, stay safe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.